Hey everybody, welcome back to the Fury Boys Racing channel. We had a crazy weekend this past weekend. Lots of highs and lows. Started out with some heartbreak and then kind of ended on a high note. So what happened was on Thursday night, we were up until 1:30 trying to resolve some of the issues with the clutch and the shifter. A friend of mine named Colby Fry came over. He doesn't live too far from here. He's a very successful late model driver, dirt late model driver, and also he races dirt modifieds. He's also a dealer for a whole bunch of things, and he does work on other people's race cars for them. So I was stuck, and I needed somebody that was outside the sprint car community to help me. And I had met him a little while back, so gave him a call, and he didn't even hesitate to rush over here. And like I said, we were here until 1:30 in the evening getting this thing situated and figured out. And without him, we wouldn't have gotten even close to getting to the race. On Friday, we pushed hard, super hard, got everything ready. We were gonna, make it just by the skin of our teeth. And as I'm pulling out, I had to get to this meeting. Sorry, got sidetracked there. But we had to get up to this meeting up north for novices. So for your first 3 races, you have to make it to these drivers' meetings for the novice drivers, or else you can't race. You're disqualified. So as I'm pulling out, I realized I didn't plug in my trailer lights. And then when I got out to do so, they didn't turn on. So I had checked everything else on all the entire tow rig, trailer, truck, everything. But unfortunately, I missed that one thing, and that cost me the going to the race. So in hindsight, that was probably a good thing. It was heartbreaking, and it's tough for me personally to take those things, but I use this as building blocks to deal with that stuff. So, so I readjusted, as they say in the military, and I decided that I was going to test it, at a drag race or a drag track again. Not again, but try for that again. We had shot for that once in the past, but we were rained out. So fortunately, we were able to get up there, and a couple of friends of mine, Alec Meisel and Brian Snyder, and of course my wife, Lily, we were all up there together, and we made such a great team, had a lot of fun, had to go through a few things on the car to get it squared away, but just to get it to where we could actually make a pass. But we got all those things knocked out pretty quickly, and then we got up to do a pass, and well, before we did that, we actually drove around the pits quite a bit, I think 2 or 3 times. Just tested different things, and made sure that the basic functions of going down the track were there. So after we verified that, we pulled into the lanes to line up to go. And didn't have to wait long, went straight out there, did a little burnout, and honestly, it didn't feel right. So I was like, all right, I'll just be cautious as I move forward here. The clutch worked absolutely perfect. You know, Colby really helped me nail that, or he nailed it and I helped him. So, but it worked out great. And I was able to stage the car, you know, pre-stage, stage. I was able to bring the revs up and leave off the clutch a little bit. But either during the burnout or leaving, I really tore up the suspension. In fact, I'm going to take you along for the ride. So, you guys know all about the wishbone from past episodes, but I bent that sucker like a banana, and that obviously threw my pinion angle off, and you know, threw all this up in here, and then it took out my shifter cable here, brand new $100 shifter cable. But other than that, there wasn't really any more damage. So the way I designed these individual components on this was that if one component broke, ideally the others would not. Where in some suspensions, if you have one component that breaks, you have multiple components that break. So got to rebuild this. Already went out and got materials. You can see these is a couple of hoops. This is how I made them the last time. But what I'm going to do is build basically the same thing, except with this deal, I think I'm going to triangulate it. For you drag racers out there, it's kind of look like two miniature ladder bars that you know, are going to go to a single point under there. So a little bit to work on there. It took me a bit to fabricate this version, but honestly, now that I know what I'm doing with the TIG welder and basic design for this thing, I don't think it'll take me long to knock out. Excuse me if you can't hear as well. The rain has started. The other thing was the engine. The engine did not run that well. It's not hurt or anything. It just needs a lot of help. So I pulled out the plugs and they were all wet, and which basically was a pretty obvious diagnosis that the thing was super lean, and that was actually, we knew about that prior to that, to even taking those out, just because the all the black smoke and the smoke that this thing was kicking out on the starting line. So fortunately, I did find a gentleman that is more than happy to help me out, and we're going to try to figure out putting a tune in this, and you know, hopefully we can get it at least running to the point where it's consistent. You know, it doesn't have to be on the ragged edge. This thing just needs to make a little bit of power, you know, not crazy, but it needs to make a little bit of power, and then it also needs to just stay together and be reliable. So the gentleman I'm talking to, he's really well versed in the Holley engine management systems. This is a Holley HP, so it's right up his alley. So hopefully we can get that dialed in. I'm getting some new injectors here. In fact, as soon as I record this video, I'm going to be ordering them. Probably going to get some Bosch 210 injectors, and that should be everything that I need going into the future. I had questions if that was too big of a, you know, an injector and whatnot, but I was assured that it is something that we can grow into, and That's great because I don't want to buy multiple sets of injectors if I can help it. The set we're looking at now is almost $700. So, and that's without fuel rails and anything else I might want to upgrade while I'm in there. So, all that stuff costs a lot of money, but it is what it is. It's racing, and if it was easy, everybody'd do it. To sum up the weekend, we had, like I said, we ended on a high note. On Sunday, everybody had a great time. Lily was a little under the weather, but everybody had a blast. Even though we were bending up parts, that's kind of how this thing is supposed to go. It's developing a completely new race car that's never been built, at least not in this manner. So I had a lot of fun. We got to fix the wishbone. We got to take care of the engine. If that's the only two major things that we got to take care of, that's really not that big of a deal. And so it was really awesome to have some of the other racers come by and look at the build, and some really respectable race car builders in themselves. People coming over and giving me positive comments, and one guy said A+ build. So that makes me feel really, really good, and that's kind of how or kind of what I wanted to achieve when I built this thing, to get the recognition from guys like those, that I'm heading in the right direction. So with that, guys, I'm going to leave you there. So please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.